Hey guys, I just wanted to come on here and have a discussion about dating, about love. Does love still exist anymore? Does what's going on in the dating market, the dating scene, modern day dating? I don't know. I feel like these days there's some sort of agenda going around, like online, whether it's like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, or whatever, right? Where both sexes, male and female, are coming out and saying a lot of different things. Not all males or all females, but there's certain people out there that will come out online and be like, you know, from a women's side, we don't need men anymore. And then from the male side, we don't need women anymore, right? You know, just work on yourself, self-improvement. Self-improvement's blown up within the last few years. All these like different influences, people online from both parties, male and female, pushing self-improvement, pushing looks maxing, all this stuff, right? And it almost feels like we're turning against each other. We're turning against each other. People becoming more, how do I say it? More independently strong, right? I mean, look, in some ways, being independently strong is a good thing, but pushing away, oh, okay, I don't want to, like, for example, I'm a male, I'm going to push away, like, women completely. Like, I don't need a woman in my life. I'm so independently strong. I don't think that's a good idea. And also, vice versa, women doing the same thing, like, oh, I don't need men in my life or whatever. It feels like these days, right, relationships are less likely, marriages. I feel like the percentage of marriages happening these days is like it's going down. And also, like, couples having kids, like the percentage of pregnancies are going down. I mean, also, I guess when it comes to the children's side of things, right, I think there is a part of that is because of inflation, of how expensive the world has become, right? So that would be one factor in that. But I also do believe that another factor is because, like, these relationships that people are getting into now, they're not sustainable. Nothing seems to be set in stone long term like it used to be. Divorce rates seem to be sky high. Yeah, like, it feels like, what's the point of getting married? Like, sometimes you question, like, what's the point of getting married now? Because, like, it feels like from both ends, both male and female, right? It's like, can you really trust this person long term? Like, I don't know. Cheating seems to be the norm these days. Like, you hear a lot of stories about, people, getting into a relationship with a particular person, and then that person decides they want to, like, they're bored and they want to explore other options while they're still in the relationship, and things end up being heartbroken, and that it's sad. It's sad. Like, where have we gone wrong as a society? Like, how did we get to this point? Like, back in the day, I guess when my parents, were getting together or whatever, right? Older generations, older times, right? Like, the whole thing, right? The whole thing was, when you grow up, you get to in some point in your 20s, you find the one, you get married, you settle down, you have children, you have a mortgage to pay, and you guys are supposed to live happily ever after, right? But these days, I don't know if that particular dream still exists. I don't know, in this modern climate, this modern environment, like, it just doesn't feel like that's the case anymore. And I feel like, too, it's like with both parties, both male and female, right? A lot of people can't trust the other person, because it's like, what about your history? How, like, what's your sexual history like? Like, both male and females are guilty of having a past where it's just so much, how do I say it? So much sexual history with different partners and stuff. And and then you sort of question like, oh, like this person used to be a different way, like, and sort of it becomes a bit of a turn off. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, how can I marry this person and have a kid with this particular person if, you know, like they had this history of being, you know, a certain way that you don't want, and something that you obviously wouldn't want your possible future kids to sort of go through as well, right? So there's that as well. You know, everything's sort of becoming online these days. Dating apps, which in my opinion, think is I don't know. I'm not a fan of the dating apps. Hey, I've been on dating apps before. I've tried different things: Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, and something's not right. Something's not right about online dating. Even like Instagram now has sort of almost become some sort of dating app, even though it's not really an official dating app, right? But like, me personally, I'm old school. For me, I'm a very social person, right? I'm very extroverted, very outgoing, and I am someone who loves face-to-face interactions with people. Like, I need that human interaction, right? So I always do my best work in person. I always try to, if there's a particular woman that I'm attracted to, I will go have a conversation with her and pick her up in person. I don't like the online stuff because, you know, online too, I find you can't really get a real, how do I say it? It's hard to really to feel the energy of like, if this person's really keen on me or not. Where in person, I feel like you kind of know if someone's going to be keen or not straight away with the energy that gets projected. So, but I find a lot of people too, they're very scared. Well, I mean, I don't know if this is like worldwide, but definitely where I'm from here in Australia, it feels like people here are very scared at, you know, going out of their way to approach someone. Approaching in person these days here, it doesn't happen as much anymore. So I think, you know, social media has ruined a lot. Social media's ruined a lot, right? Because I'll say this, yeah, women, I think social media has ruined women's expectations big time, right? Because, you know, women, I feel, have more access to men now than they ever did before, right? You know, back in the day, pre-social media, like mobile phones and whatever, right? You would go out, have a good night with your mates or whatever, or your friends or whatever, and then let's just say, you know, as a man, you go and approach this woman, right? And maybe she hasn't been approached that day or anything like that, and she's really into you as well. You know, you guys exchange telephone numbers, right? Good old landline days, right? Pre my time as well, before me, right? And like that person would stay like in your memory, like from both parties, men and women, right? Like it would just stay in your memory, and you can't stop thinking about them, right? So then when they give you that, when the man goes to give that woman the call, you know, she's gonna like that guy would be on her mind, right? So she's excited, waiting for the phone call to come. You know, you ring up and you set up the date, and if things work out, that's it, that's the one, right? Where I feel like now things have changed, and, you know, women really have a lot of power these days because because of like social media, right? Social media, especially like after COVID, right? Things became, I feel like social media started to project overly sexualized content and stuff, right? and a lot of men out there became very lustful, and it's like a lot of men started to lose control of themselves, right? And so many different women, right, have access to so many different men, right? So like they're constantly getting attention online from multiple different guys, like in the DMs, multiple men hitting them up, multiple men in their comments on their posts, multiple men liking their pictures, right? It's like women have become like a celebrity now. You know what I mean? They get that celebrity treatment like that, as if they're Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt. Like they're just DMs galore, right? Men are out of control. Men are out of control. Like they're just lusting. Everything's about lust these days because of the content that they're seeing online through different, platforms. Especially like, I said about during COVID or like after COVID, right? How things became more overly sexualized. Like we saw the rise of like OnlyFans, right? And look how many men are on there just lusting away over these women who are showing themselves in a sexual way. It's out of control. It's ridiculous. So, dating, like, so let's just say, you're a man and you find this particular girl attractive, right? Even if you go up and you pick her up in person, let's just say, right? You grab her Instagram or even her number, right? It's not guaranteed that you two are gonna like even get to a date, because she's got so many guys after her. She's got so many men DMing her, right? And let's just say you don't give her enough attention. Like, let's just say you play it normal, right? You take your time. Like, let's just say you're busy at work, you send her a text, whatever. Then she replies at blah, blah, blah time, right? And then again, like, you're busy at work or whatever, doing whatever, right? So then when you actually have a bit of free time later on, you send her another message, blah, 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 right? But then you could be like, your attention may not be enough because you're taking your time, because you're busy and you got your things going, right? But then there's a ton of other men out there with a roster, like this chick that you're messaging could have a roster of guys in her DMs just giving her so much attention. She'll just look at you and be like, this guy's not giving me enough attention. I'm not feeling him as much, so I'm gonna go with this guy instead because he's really blowing my ego up or something like that, right? That's just how things seem to be these days. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad that this is how the world has become. That, both men and women seem to be, not everyone, but there are a large percentage of both sexes just out of control. Everything's overly sexualized, and people, like, both men and women following particular trends that they think, oh, that's pretty cool, I need to do that, right? Like, for instance, right, I'll say this. For instance, a big thing that's going on now is the terminology baddie, right? Every woman these days seems to want to be a baddie. They're trying to, dress a particular way to make them look bad, right? I want to be a baddie, this, right? But, like, being a baddie, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Like, because they're dressing in a provocative way. They're dressing in a overly sexualized way to get attention, right? But see, the women now, they think, oh, getting all this attention, that's like, it's like celebrity, like it's like a status, power, empowering type thing. But, like, it's not. Like, any man of high quality, like any good man of high quality, right, doesn't want to be dating a woman who dresses a certain way. He doesn't want to be taking out a woman who's dressed a certain way to entertain a bunch of other men. No man wants that. No proper man wants to be around a woman that's perceived that way. So yeah, it's just interesting times. Both sexes are following certain trends. Even men are doing silly things to try and, you know, be better. Like all this looks maxing and stuff. Like we look at like Clav and stuff. Like, look, I'm all for self-improvement, right? I'm all for self-improvement. I'm all, like, you know, if there's certain things you don't like about yourself, then, you know, go and fix it, right? But I think, you know, people like there's influencers out there like Clav, and there's another guy out there named Androgenic, and I think those two guys in particular are just becoming out of control. They're telling people to go get all these surgeries done that very unnecessary. Especially like Clav saying like to stay lean, like he's doing heroin. Like that's not good at all. That's so toxic and so fucked up. Like, and the fact that he's becoming very viral and very, very popular and mainstream, you know, like a lot of people will like listen to what he's saying and it will be easily influenced. And then, you know, I'm like, I don't know if other people are doing this, right? But I bet someone out there in the world has probably heard him say, I take heroin to stay lean, and they're probably doing that. You know what I mean? Which is not good, and you don't want people doing that. You don't want people doing that. And the social media, like, they don't care. Like Instagram and YouTube and all that, they keep pushing it. The algorithm keeps pushing those people, you know? So, you know, things are really bad now. Imagine what it's going to be like in 5 years' time, 10 years' time. It's going to be even worse from both parties. So, yeah, dating almost feels like it's a bit of a humiliation ritual. I don't even know if I even said that right. Humiliation ritual. There you go. It almost feels like that these days. It feels like, you know, sometimes too, it feels like how I said, you know, how women have more power now. It almost feels like men are just becoming like clowns, becoming like jesters, trying anything they can to entertain a woman. And it's like men are becoming a joke. Men are becoming a joke. Also, I just wanted to point out one more thing that I forgot to mention, and that's Olivia Wilde. She just come out recently. She's a very popular movie star, actress. And she's come out and said that a boyfriend is no longer necessary. And for me, that's not a good message at all. That is not a good message. Like, she's someone who's very popular, probably has a little bit of a fan base going. A lot of women probably really like her as an actress, and like her acting and her work, her movies. Now, this woman, right? She was like in a relationship with a really popular actor named Jason Sudeikis. He's a funny guy, pretty good actor, right? She had 2 kids with him, right? And look, I may be getting this wrong here, so this may not be 100% accurate, but I think off the top of my head, I think I remember she ended that relationship and just ran off with Harry Styles, right? And Harry Styles, you know, dated her for a brief short time, right? But let's think about this, right? She's a lot older than Harry Styles. Harry Styles is a lot younger than her. Like, that was never going to last. Like, she decided, okay, my long-term partner, who I have 2 kids with, he's not enough anymore. I want to go out there and have some fun with this young guy, young pop star, right? Even though this may not last, it might be short-term. I'd instead of, you know, something that's long-term and someone you have 2 kids with, right? Oh, I'm still going to go and entertain that idea with the pop star, right? And then now, since then, they broke up, her and Harry. And I think she's probably been in other relationships too since then. And now she's coming out and trying to project a message, you know, boyfriends are no longer required. Like, it's not normal, it's not healthy. That's toxic. It's toxic. And I'm not just blaming women, like it's both parties here, men and women. We're both as bad as each other, right? But I'm just saying, like, that particular message from a high profile celebrity, right? Who's probably got a fan base, right? That message getting out there, there's going to be a lot of women reading that, you know, digesting that and thinking, you know what? Like, I'm going to be a strong, independent woman. You know, I'm going to go fuck around, have some fun, but I'm not going to settle down because it's no longer required to have a boyfriend. And this is another thing, another reason why the dating market is becoming fucked. Why we're having less kids. Why divorces are going, the divorce percentage, the divorce numbers are going higher. Why love almost feels like it doesn't exist anymore. You know what I mean? Those type of messages should not be projected. But yeah, we live in a time now where social media, you know, social media clings on to different things and it projects different things out there. The algorithm pushes different things. And at the moment, yeah, I don't know if love really exists anymore.